Hello out there. Hello. Malik on Business coming to you live again. I get my reps in. Happy Monday afternoon, everybody. Trying to get it going, trying to get it going. Happy Monday, happy Monday. Just trying to stick to my word while I'm out here. I said I was gonna do better with my fitness and my health. So I'm reporting to you guys again live from the elliptical from my home gym. You know, thanks for checking in. If you just tuned in, yeah, I hope y'all can hear me. Like I said last week, I ended up taking a whole hour full of footage without any any audio because I was over here on what you call that, y'all. I was trying to film with my meta glasses on, so I ain't know what time it was, y'all. So you know, my apologies. My apologies to you. Oh man, thanks for checking in with me for this fitness vlog. Thanks for taking this journey with me. Again, I am MalikOnBihness, an ounce of fitness, and today, once again, we are live from the elliptical, where I just go on and on about the things that transpired the day before, whatever little knowledge I have on pop culture and the news, I give it back to y'all, you know, and hey, that's how we do. That's how we do on this Monday. This Monday, August. It's been a soggy August, ain't it? Well, today I ain't got to turn my air conditioner on, so that's good. I just learned I just learned today that that guy who's the Gracie guy that was convicted of killing Sonya Lansky, I just learned that he had cancer, some type of cancer. They said before his case had started, before he had killed the lady, that he had cancer. So you know he ended up he didn't have the luxury um serving his whole prison sentence. Um, I ain't gonna really speak on that. Um, I don't know. We only know what they tell us, you know. But all this was news to me, and I'm pretty sure to a lot of folks learning that he had cancer. But I remember when he was trying to get on, they was trying to ask for him to get out early because of the cancer. And I think a couple of politicians that got sent home going to health reasons. But I remember a guy from Bloomington, his name was Steele. And man, I've seen him. I've seen Steele. I can't think of his last name. But I had seen Steele um, get some type of throat cancer or tongue cancer. They cut his tongue out, man. And that was down there in Sheridan, man. And man, he had a lot of kids, man. I think I'm not mistaken, he had about 7, 8 kids. And man, they gave him an operation while he was in prison down there in Sheridan Correctional Center. And he was trying to get home to be with his family. And I hope his people pursue the lawsuit because that man was fine before he had that operation. But nevertheless, they did not spare him. They did not let that man out of prison, man. And the man, I think he ended up dying in prison. Yeah, I think he ended up dying in prison. But I said this to say this is because, man, depending who you are in society, they will let you out to be with your family or whatever. And I just figured like if you ain't no threat and this and the third, this and the third, I believe, man, and you was kind of being a model citizen while you was in prison, weren't getting in no trouble. Man, I believe you should be able to live out your days, man, with your loved ones. If you even have the luxury to have loved ones after you've been gone for a certain period of time, man. So I know, and I ain't gonna speak on like murders. Of course, society feel that you shouldn't be allowed to be with your loved ones if you was, somebody who committed a murder or any other violent or heinous crimes. But for other cases, man, where it's like drugs or anything that wasn't violent, me personally, I do believe that if you do have an illness where it's life threatening, man, you should be able to live out your days with your people, man. Because the state ain't finna. That's making it easy on the state too, and the taxpayers is that way they don't have to be able to dispose of you. You know, so I think Illinois should look at that. That'll save the taxpayers money, save the state money. If people that are gravely ill and they serving a prison sentence. Man, it just seems humane to let them live out their time with their loved ones. When it's not a valid case, I'm gonna say that. When it ain't a valid case, I see the young lady who she killed her baby daddy. Killed her baby daddy on some. It was a domestic incident, and she ended up stabbing the man in the leg, and he died as a result of his injuries. Man, that's a karma for your butt right there. That's a karma for your ass. Man, people better learn to leave these people alone, man. Just walk away. Just go for a drive. Put your hands on these women and on these men too. There be some cases where these women be beating up on these men too. Some small cases, you know. But for the most part, man, y'all gotta, man, if you can't reconcile, man, just leave, man. Just leave. Not engage in any physical altercations, man. Because when you think about it, I remember back in the day, I grew up in domestic situations, man, and man, and as a kid, you don't care what your mama done. Don't put your hands on my mama, and you know, you want everything to happen to the um to the aggressor. You want everything to happen to the aggressor. But I'm tell you, as time went on, when I seen what I'm seeing, that sometimes the Lord intervenes if the situation was just verbal. I seen a verbal situation go from bad to worse, if you know what I mean. And man, I've seen some situations where, man, the police had to intervene in some people's um situations. Man, I don't know. It's like that kind of was. It was not normal to hear somebody. Cause I grew up in an apartment building. I ain't grew up in the projects, thank God. But not bashing people that lived in public housing. I'm just glad that even though my mother was poor, she didn't allow us to grow up in the projects. And it probably could have made it better for her life because paying market rent when you're poor and you have someone you living with someone that that's not pulling their weight, that can be a strain on the relationship, man. And I'm pretty sure my mom was paying her rent because of welfare and public aid, And I'm pretty sure my brother did. He was contributing a little bit, but man, that's a whole other story, man. But yeah, to get back to that young lady who killed her baby daddy, man, um, she turned into an advocate, and you know, she ain't finna get no jail time. That's good because at the end of the day, she probably was a victim. But there's always two sides to every story because I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna, you know, um, speak on her baby daddy defense. And I'm not that person because I didn't know her baby daddy and I don't know what the situation was. I'm just reporting what I seen in the news about her not getting no jail time. And a lot of times, Cook County prosecutors get it wrong. And so in this case, they must have did their due diligence because the lady don't look like she come from money. She don't look like she had good defense that she could just beat the case or whatever, you know. But yeah, she came from up under it, man, and she's gonna be an advocate. And I think that's a good thing, man. She probably didn't mean to kill that dude. She probably just wanted to get that dude to fossil, you know. And you gotta have some type of empathy for, especially if you got sisters, daughters, mothers, aunts, and a big old man is attacking that woman, man. And I don't think it's no such thing as loving somebody to death, man. Just walk away, man. Just go do something different, man. And who knows? Y'all can probably reconcile down the line with cooler heads and cooler heads be able to prevail. Yeah, man. And I can't be on no hypocritical stuff like that. You know, I gotta talk the talk and walk the walk. Because I am in a relationship with a woman and at times, you know, arguments can get heated. So as a man I try to work on myself and I try to do I'm way more patient than I was 10 years ago. So if you're dealing with a woman with a strong personality and very outspoken, sometimes just pay to just listen. And not only do you listen, you take heed and you try to um, do things better for the both of y'all, especially if there's kids involved. You know. So yeah, man. Shout out to that lady. I think her name Golden, Keisha Golden, or something like that. I really didn't catch it. But yeah, from what I see, she don't look like she had malice in her heart. She don't look like that's you. Okay, that don't look like she tried to do whatever she did, man. They end up losing that dude. I mean, they end up making that dude lose his life. You know, yeah, you gotta keep your hands off them women, man. Just like that dude, that dude that was a few years ago. That dude was in the Maxwell Polish stand, and he arguing with that lady, and then punched that lady, and her son killed her with her pistol. You know, man, violence ain't always the answer, man. If you can de-escalate a situation, that's the problem, man. People do not know how to de-escalate something. People do not know how to use their coping skills. The main thing people do nowadays is just try to react and you catch a lot of people reacting and then pulling their phones out. No, I don't even want to see it. I don't want to be no witness or something. If I can't help intervene, I'm just going about my business. If I can help or whatever, I'll try to help. But what are you doing? You done seen plenty of bystanders get killed, man, over some stuff that didn't even have nothing to do with them. I just seen on the west side, 40-year-old woman, 41-year-old, 49-year-old woman, I think it was 49-year-old woman, got killed up on the west side of the Lord's Gathering. Man, if you're Chicago, if your Lord's Gathering and a controlled gathering, this best not to even be there. You know. That's why I like being, if I don't like going out no more anyway, but if it's not a controlled environment where I know everybody and, you know, because I only want to be in company, I only want to keep company with people that I care about and care about me. You know, that means you know, if I was hurt or, you know, just like, man, I see so many people drinking, right? We're at a gathering. You see people drinking. You see people getting overly drunk, overly indulging in liquor and, you know, smoking. And man, you know how many times I let people drive off and people let me drive off and stuff like that. So, and I ain't saying that nobody should be your babysitter or something like that, but you got to take some accountability on your own self about overindulging in liquor and alcohol. I mean, alcohol and drugs. Now, you got to, you know, if it's at your leisure, man, and you out and about, that's the difference between a drunk, an alcoholic, and a social drinker. It's okay to partake, but man, do everything in moderation, man. Why you want to be fall down drunk? That's why. That was another reason why I stopped getting drunk, stopped drinking, because I look at old videos. I don't like my behavior in those old videos. I don't like how I was moving. You know, you know, and I know I got more common sense than that. So why would I want to move like that? And um, instead of just being, you know, it's cool to go out with your partner, but when somebody feel like you're a burden on them, I want to go out with you. When they know you're gonna be belligerent, gonna say something that's off the wall, gonna get into it. Nobody wants you around, man. And I used to think like, damn, am I that guy getting overly disrespectful and then blaming it on the liquor? I don't want to be that guy. So I don't leave it alone. And like I said, um, I'm probably a real boring guy when I be at these gatherings now because I was probably one of the lives of the party, you know. But yeah, I ain't the show. I ain't the ticket. So you came to see me clown moving forward, man. You gonna need a refund, man, because I don't move like that no more. I sit back and I observe, and I still try to be a fun, outgoing guy. I still be social. Like we played spades yesterday, and it was fun. But man, when you're in your right state of mind, you make a lot of good decisions. All right, I've been outside 3 hours. Let me go on here home instead of staying to the crack of dawn. And, you know, because people be worried about you. You know, then it's good that my woman she don't have to worry about me coming home drunk. You know, now I done woke up sleep behind the wheel. I done woke up jewelry missing, parked somewhere, car running. Man, I done did it. getting belligerent with police, getting belligerent with other people, with loved ones. Man, rest in peace, my homie Tyrone. I was gone when he got killed. Well, yeah, that's crazy. He ended up getting murdered out there at a club out here in Dalton. Out there in Dalton, I think it was Dalton. But yeah, he got murdered behind, so it wasn't even his incident. And he got shot and killed. You feel me? You see what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be somewhere where ain't nobody got your back or cooler heads ain't gonna prevail. If you going out and enjoy yourself, especially in these environments you really ain't got no control over, man, you need to be just having a good time somewhere and just chilling. It shouldn't be no type of man. It seems like that's how these young people move these days. I hate bashing young folks, but it seems like man, when y'all just be gathering and y'all be learning, sitting around with y'all phones, and it's like y'all be really waiting for something to pop off, and it pops off. 99.9% of the time, them young people they be on their phones, and something pop off. And they don't care about the police being there. I know in Chicago they don't. They don't care about the police being there. They don't care about um somebody in authority there. They ain't respectful of property. They ain't mindful. They don't care how much your car costs. Man, they don't care how much your property costs. Man, they is gonna act a fool on your stuff with no regard. And that's the thing, man. Even though we grew up in the slums and this and franchise communities, man, them people, our elders made us respect their property and respect our block. You know, don't sit on our car, don't sit on our porch. You thought they was nagging, but man, them people pay for that stuff. It costs to keep stuff clean. It costs to keep up. Man, this lady used to always lean on her gate. And when she get mad and cuss her ass out, man, get off my gate. You know what I'm saying? I'm calling police. And then down the line, if you see people who have fences, if people just leaning on your gate all day, it's gonna win. It's gonna make the property look dilapidated. And people gotta pay for that. And looking back then, I probably didn't understand, but I get it. I get it. You don't want to leave and go home. You don't want to go to work. You left out. These guys is hanging outside your property where you left out for work. Then you come home, they still in front of your property. It's like you a hostage in your own community, man. And it's like, what do the young people expect, man? What do they expect? I I do not see I do not see any, and I mean any. There's a lot of kids that don't respect people's property, space, and don't respect them. They don't even respect themselves. So yeah, it starts with the parents teaching and instilling these values in their children. So when they do go out, they have the common sense to know, all right, I'm not gonna hang in a crowd because most of the time, something bad happens to people that hang in crowds. You know what I'm saying? So if you start teaching your children common sense, a lot of things can be avoided. What are you going to a change takeover for? All it is chaos. if something happens to you, nobody's gonna help you. They're gonna put out their phone and they're gonna film you while you're bleeding to death, fighting for your life. You know, and we are in trouble. We are definitely living in times and days where we are in trouble. Um, it's man, it's so much stuff to touch on and talk about. I'm gonna let you know something. A lot of people want to just live their life. A lot of people want to tune this nonsense out. I get it, because it can be depressing. Every time you turn on the news, somebody lost their life or something bad happened. Now you just turn on the TV now, you seeing all these brush fires, man. I just seen on Reno and down in Reno by Reno, they having a brush fire. That's almost by the desert. And they already don't have water. They said it looked like the fire was man-made too. It wasn't no natural fire. So man, um, prayers goes out to them people and everybody that's suffering in that incident. Yeah, Gary, Gary, it's 13 days, going on 14 days. It's almost 2 weeks since it was a storm. They still don't have electricity, man. What is going on with y'all infrastructure over there? Where y'all can't restore these people power in a timely manner, you know? And they saying, man, I believe, man, this is what they should do. If y'all can't get them people, if y'all can't restore them people's power, man, they should be on the hook to get them people solar power generators. I bet you they'll get some fire up under their ass then when they got to give everybody a generator, a solar power generator. If I was the governor, if I was Bruce Brown or whatever his name is, the governor of Indiana, he should make them people be on. He should make them NIPSCO people be on the hook for if y'all can't restore this power within a couple of like 2 more days tops. Not only just giving somebody a credit, because if y'all give somebody a credit, then y'all have had y'all to, down the line, y'all to sneak them charges back in that y'all is not slick. Y'all sneak them charges back in on them bills down the line that y'all done so-called gave somebody credit. So now give them people something that they can really use, like some solar power generators, some generators. That way that'll save y'all a lot of lawsuits. But y'all probably rather litigate anyway. So yeah, yeah, I wouldn't worry about that problem. I'd be worried about that if I was their governor or their mayors, them individual mayors for them towns that still don't have power restored. Man, the electric company need to be on hook for giving them people solar power generators. And I mean solar power generators, not no gas. Because a lot of people in Gary are already poor. They don't have the money to keep paying for fuel in the generator. You know, I see they got their little man, people try to eat wings and franks and you know what I'm saying? People don't eat those type of meals every day. Oh yeah, we barbecuing this food giveaway, and you know we trying to give people some sense of normalcy. No, it's not. No, it's not. A hot dog is not going to make me feel better in a disaster. I'm just, I'm just speaking for me and probably a whole lot of other people. A hot dog is not gonna make me feel good that I can't wash my ass and flush my toilet. Because 9 times out of 10, if you ain't got no power, the water ain't running. The air ain't running. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let them make them people be on the hook for generators, solar power generators. I bet you Gary will be the last place to something like that to happen. Yeah, that kind of grind my gears right there. I told the wife, I said that's our next investment. We got a regular generator, but that old loud clanking, man, gotta keep putting gas in, man. We gotta get us one of them solar power generators. Cause it's like doomsday is getting upon us. It's it's where we live in now. It is insane. Yeah, let me go on here and get up out of here, y'all. I've been on this bike long enough. I gotta go ahead and do these dumbbells. I ain't my my area is in disarray right now, so I'm going ahead and get ready to end this live. But until then, I'm MalikOnBihness from House of Spinach, and thanks for tuning in from live from the Elliptical. Peace.